So hello to everybody. I am going to speak about a program or part of a program of which is included into what is called the Czech archaeological information system, which is a sort of infrastructure part of the national research and scientific infrastructures in the Czech Republic. And it is based in the Institute of Archaeology of Academy of Sciences, both in Prague and in Brno. So we have two institutes of archaeologists, one in Bohemia, one in Moravia. And actually what I'm talking about is about 2 points about how we care about aerial images which have been collected during the last 20 years or so when we had our own aircraft in the Institute of Archaeology, and how we actually produced a methodology for making evidence and recording of the sites photographed from the air, and then how we prolonged these into mapping and finally into 3D modeling. So the work, all the work which we are doing in the institute concerning the aerial reconnaissance program were from 95-97% based on prospection of crop market sites, which work very well in my country, because we have a lot of lowlands, very fertile lowlands, which became obviously the core of the settlement territories in Bohemia. And because we think, or I think, I'm sure, and many of you know that as well, that in aerial photographs of crop market sites, you can sometimes see really very good details of the former constructions of them, like this one, for instance, which is a corner of a 18-year of the beginning of the 19th century, a century fortification from the Napoleonic Wars, which includes not only the ditch of that fort, but also the construction of the palisade trench, which is going from the interior down up out of this feature. So we think that the potential of aerial photographs for recording really details sometimes is very high. So this is, as you can see, obviously the let me say, the paper or the analog part of the archive, which, as you can see now, all of this material which is included into the desks and slides and so on was digitized, of course, and now is part of the so-called digital archive of the Czech archaeological map, which is the the core of that archaeological information system infrastructure. So here we are, just few sentences about this archive, of which this part, this collection of aerial photographs, which by now there are something like 24,000 of digitized and photographs, and included into database with all the metadata, including each image. So if you open the digital archive of this archaeological information system inside the archaeological map of the Czech Republic, so you can see part of the area covered by crop market sites on the left upper corner, and then if you focus, then you can see the individual sites of or the range, the area of individual sites as they produced crop marks. Obviously, then here again you can see on the three images we can see the polygons, including the crop marks on various kind of maps, including the map from the 18th century over there. And then the final step is a detailed detailed plans of all sites in the future of all sites. By now we have digitized and vectorized, if you like, in the GIS environment, roughly or almost one half of them, which is roughly about 500 sites. Yeah, so this is very quickly principle about three stages of mapping, three scales of mapping: small scale mapping, just titled one-ton scale map. Then this is the original map on which we recorded the discovered site for cropmarks, and so as you can see, they were distributed into sections, into sections, coded sections according to the districts of in which they were found. Then we produced a list of them, which is just one page of them, and there is a more detail. All these were step by step started to be digitized, vectorized into the map. So on this image, you can see actually, if you open the archaeological map of the Czech Republic on the website, on the left side, that is the polygon of one site, and here you can see the same in the GIS environment, including the individual or one site, actually one site in here. Doesn't work. So actually the scale of the large scale mapping is that it goes down to single post hole. So the one post hole is which is visible on the photographs is the biggest detail into which we go. And this is example of one of these sites, which also we will have the possibility to see on the video, which will follow. So it is this site. Here. Yes, that's the site, and then the view how it has been. So you can see that really each single on the map, on the plan. Yes, and obviously we have at hand, what we have at hand now are, as it was always mentioned here before, we have collections of by now 6 publicly available orthophotographs, orthophoto maps, in fact, publicly available on the internet, on the web page. Here you can see 4 of these 6 collections, 6 years series of images, which most of them, of the 6, were taken in the proper part of the year, which means in June, July, or something like that. So here you can see, for instance, 4 of these 6 planned for one site. So obviously these orthophotos are I mean, very important for good mapping, of course, because although they are not absolutely precise, because these are not original orthophotographs, they are photo maps which were processed, so they are not, but concerning, I mean, relatively the relationship between individual features, that the distance between them, their size, that's absolutely good. And here is just a table which shows how on these maps what was the visibility for each year on these maps concerning individual sites, which means X means no visibility on the orthophoto or orthophoto map, and 0 is very low, and up to 3 is the best. And finally, to the final product, which will be just now in these days, will be implemented into the digital web page of the archaeological map of the Czech Republic. Concerning these sites are their detailed plan, which are placed on the digital terrain model derived from LiDAR. LiDAR, publicly available LiDAR data of the so-called fifth generation in our country. We produce, as I said before, just this year, we published this book, unfortunately just in Czech language, a methodology of the processing and evidence of data from archaeological reconnaissance. And here we have some, there are some texts which I will not read, just go very quickly through them concerning the principles why now we are talking about the 3D images and especially about the reconstructions, why we decided to make the reconstruction, because in fact, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know about any program which would be focused, which would have been focused on producing 3D models of reconstructions of crop market sites, which obviously, I mean, the reconstructions must be based on variety of sources, like former archaeological excavations of the sites concerning of the concerned sites, or experimental archaeology, or previously done drawing reconstructions, etc., etc. Yes, so that's what I was just saying now in the first paragraph. Yeah, so the final product actually, apart from steady reconstructions, images with reconstructed sites and features, are the so-called fly-through videos. And now in the second part of my paper, I have prepared about 10-11 minute document in which we actually put together a few of the sites which we have already processed into the final stage of the video 3D reconstructions of the sites. So obviously we photograph all the images and videos, clips which were used into the creation of the 3D photogrammetry creation of the or production of 3D models, and then to the reconstructions were partly taken from our aircraft, which we owned between 1997 and 2016, which means almost practically 20 years. But also, and most frequently, especially in the last years, of course, we use for the proper photogrammetric imagery, we have been using drones, UAV. This is just something about the workflow, which is very well known, I guess, for people who are doing with this the softwares and steps very quickly. No any sense to speak about it here in more details. And finally, we published just this year, as you can see. It will be printed just I think next month or so in one of the Czech most important journals, which is included among the Scopus database and Web of Science and so on, Památky archeologické. So that's the end of my. That's not the complete end of my presentation. This is the end of the first part, and now I would like to present you the video in which you will see actually what we include into these papers, how we use them, or how more or less, rather to say, plan to use them for students, to explain them the principles and even to show them how part of these features or sites were already excavated. So plans are included into the reconstructions and so on. And obviously for the wide publics, this is the most important point, to show them what the blobs on the surface of the fields and so on, what they actually mean, what they can imagine beyond them. Okay. So this is the first part of the video which really shows, indicates, displays the way how to describe students or to the publics the principles of crop marks. Negative, positive crop marks, as you know it all. So now we have the first example of just 3D digital model, not reconstruction of a site from the late Bronze Age. These are the dots, the hundreds of pits, and then you can see the enclosure, which is a burial from the migration period. This is another very expensive settlement, prehistoric settlement. Where we for the first time see reconstructing structures on the basis of just crop marks. This site was never excavated. Nothing was excavated on this site. So you can see especially a lot of sunken features, sunken houses, and pits. So now this is the same place which we could see on the photograph, on the photographs in 3D video. And we are still in the same site. We guess that the houses, which are most of them are houses, are, I mean, sunken houses, sunken featured or sunken floored houses, are dated probably to the late Iron Age period, to the Latin period, or maybe to the Roman period as well. So this is another site, another settlement, prehistoric settlement. This is the one which we could see on the photographs before and on the maps, on the plans before, where we have, which is mostly from the early or from the turn of the early and late Iron Age period, where we have above ground buildings constructed by posts, and we have also sunken features like this one. I mean, sunken house. And now there will be the plan of the site where you will see better the individual features. Yes, which indicates the house, and we have dated them to the so-called Belani culture, which is the late early Iron Age. And there is the sunken house under the number 3, and obviously a lot of pits again. And this is the reconstruction of one of them, which was then absolutely the same kind of feature of the above ground house dated to the turn of the early and late Iron Age, which was excavated elsewhere on a site in a rescue excavation some 3 kilometers apart from this field. So that's here. So these are images taken during the excavations, of course, which was a rescue excavation, as I said, and even we were not able to excavate the whole plan, the whole ground plan, as you can see, because they didn't allow us to make the trench behind there. So this is how we actually for the reconstructions use the combination of excavated site or excavated feature as excavated, being excavated, and as being just evidenced through crop marks. We have also a lot of varieties or variable productions. Some of them are without text. In some of them we put the text for people to understand better. So unfortunately, I'm sorry, it is just in Czech. Geophysical survey now, we can see the plan of the excavate, because this side was excavated, or this feature, this one feature of the two was excavated something like 25 years ago, situated very close to the solitary hill of Hřib, which is such a legendary hill of the Czech history. Central grave pit or grave chamber, maybe better to say. Date of this is roughly the 5th century BC, so the turn of the early and late Iron Age, beginning of the Laterne period. Yes, there was an individual something between 14 and 20 years old. But it was robbed, it was looted, of course, so there are almost no artifacts. Fortunately, there was one according to which we could very well date the site. Obviously, the problem is we don't have idea, and it was not possible to say that from the excavations whether these were originally a barrow or not. I mean, taken they took the clay from the ditch and put it as a that was not possible to and the usual, as far as I know, is not possible to decide. So that's the one, and the other one which we didn't excavate. You can see even including both the sites or both the feature, including the centrally placed, and this is such a more or less maybe more artificial idea of how some ritual practices could have been done there, and so on and so on. This is Michelsberg culture, which is 4,000 years BC, so 6,000 years old, huge half-kilometer long ditched enclosure, double ditch, and a palisade trench, which you can see both on the plans and even in here. This site was excavated already twice. I mean, just test excavated once in 1998 or 99, and once by our department in Plzeň, something like 6 years ago. And this is the reconstruction. Interestingly, we did very extensive field walking, plow walking survey, and found very extensive settlement from previous period, from the late Neolithic, what we call the late Neolithic, which is the 5th millennium BC, but almost no other traces from the Michelsberg culture apart from this cup. Which was situated in just at the bottom of one of the ditches, and this is early 13th century enclosure. Which when we discovered this one, we rather thought it could be something like a Hallstatt period courtyard, something like that. But finally, when we test excavated the site in I think 2004 and 2006, something like that, with students, we found out there was quite a lot of pottery material, that it is dated to the what we call early high Middle Ages period, which means, or high medieval period, which is the beginning of the 13th century. Geophysical magnetic survey of the site, and here you can see the trenches. Yes, so it was 2002 and 2006. Trenches placed onto the surface of the crop market feature. But obviously, then it would be necessary to slow it down, for instance, etc., etc. This is just one of thousands of possible ways how to put as many materials as we know together, from the excavation, from plow walking, from geophysics, etc., etc. And then this is the final reconstruction. So this is what we found out definitely from, I mean, concerning the features, just from crop marks. What is now there added, it says that it is possible or probable other features which could have been there somewhere around, but that's just, you know. Yes, and this is from 1813, which means from the Napoleonic Wars, the so-called Hornwerk type of fortification, of field fortification, which is situated, as you can see, on a very huge high terrace of the river Ohře. So that's that. And this is, by the way, the feature which I was showing just at the very beginning with the details on the corner of this picture concerning the palisade trench. Yes, it shows actually the way, a road which is passing, very important from military point of view, a road passing and there, which is then obviously must have been controlled by this fortification. Yeah, okay, thank you.